Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to English Legend. Today we will learn English through the history of money. This story will help you improve your English while learning something important from the past. Have you ever held a coin in your hand and felt its cold, smooth surface? Have you ever looked at paper money and wondered who touched it before you? Can you imagine a world where people could not buy bread, fruits, or clothes with money? What would life feel like if we had to trade everything with only things, not money? Today we will travel back in time to understand how money began and why it is such an important part of our lives. Long, long ago, people did not have money. Life was very different. People lived in small villages. They grew their own food. They hunted animals and gathered fruits. But sometimes people wanted things that they did not have. For example, a farmer might grow rice but need a cloth. Or a potter might make pots but need fish for dinner. How could they get what they wanted? They had to exchange. This exchange system was called barter. Barter is when people trade things directly. The farmer could give some rice to the potter and get a pot in return. The hunter could give meat to the farmer and get vegetables. First, this system worked well. People knew each other. They trusted each other. But soon problems started. Sometimes the potter did not want rice. Sometimes the farmer did not need meat. People could not always find someone who wanted exactly what they had. This made trading slow and difficult. Life felt a little heavy, like carrying too much on your back. People needed a better way to trade. Something simple and easy. Then, people thought of using special items as a medium of trade. These were things that everyone wanted or liked. In some villages, people used shells. In others, they used salt. Sometimes people used cattle or animals. These things were easier to trade than food because more people wanted them. Slowly, people began to understand that certain objects could represent value. They could show that someone owned something, even if they were not carrying the rice or meat at that moment. In China, over 2,000 years ago, people used coins made of metal. These were small, round, and easy to carry. Metal coins were strong and lasted a long time. People could trade coins for goods, and everyone accepted them. Coins made trading faster and simpler. You could carry a few coins in your pocket instead of carrying heavy bags of rice or meat. Imagine the relief. Life felt lighter. At the same time, in other parts of the world, people experimented with different forms of money. In Mesopotamia, which is now Iraq, people used silver pieces as money. They even kept records of who had silver and who owed silver. In ancient Egypt, gold was very valuable. People used gold and silver to buy luxury items and gifts. Money was not just practical, it also showed status. As time passed, people needed even easier ways to use money. Carrying heavy coins was not always convenient, especially when buying expensive things like a cow or land. So, people started using paper money. Paper money first appeared in China during the Tang and Song dynasties, around 7th and 11th centuries. The government printed notes that people could use instead of coins. This made life much easier. You could carry large value in small pieces of paper. Money was not just about trading. It was about trust and agreements. When people used coins or paper money, they believed that others would accept it. This trust allowed villages to grow into towns, and towns to grow into cities. Merchants could travel far, carrying coins or paper notes, and still trade successfully. Trade became bigger and faster. People began to connect with others far away, sharing goods, ideas, and culture. Money helped the world grow. But money also brought new challenges. Some people became very rich and others stayed poor. Sometimes rulers created too much money, which caused its value to go down. People had to learn carefully how to manage money, how to save, and how to spend wisely. Even today, we still face these lessons. Money can help us, but it must be used carefully. One interesting story comes from Europe in the Middle Ages. People used coins made of silver and gold. Each coin had a picture of the king or queen. This picture showed that the coin was real and trustworthy. If someone tried to make fake coins, it was a serious crime. People learned that money works well only when everyone believes in it. Trust is like the invisible glue that holds society together. Without trust, money cannot work. In villages, markets became busy places. People came to buy food, clothes, and tools. Children might run between stalls, listening to the sounds of merchants shouting, the clinking of coins, and the smell of fresh bread. Life became lively and colorful. Money changed how people lived, how they worked, and how they dreamed. We can learn something from this history. Money is not just a tool. It is also a story of human creativity and cooperation. Long ago, people faced problems. They needed a better way to trade. They thought, experimented, and invented money. They showed patience and imagination. They made life easier for themselves and for the next generations. And this is an important lesson for all of us. When we face problems in our life today, we can also use creativity, patience, and cooperation to find solutions. We can think like the people who invented money. What can I do to make life easier? How can I help others and help myself? Money also teaches us about trust. Just like people trusted coins and notes long ago, we must build trust in our relationships, in our work, and in our communities. Trust makes life smoother, lighter, and happier. So, my dear friends, as you look at the money in your hand today, imagine the long journey it has traveled. Imagine the farmers, hunters, potters, and kings who first dreamed of a simple way to trade. Imagine the markets, the busy streets, and the coins clinking in the sun. Feel the warmth and wonder of history in your hands. Part 2. Approximate 1,000 words. As we continue our journey, my dear friends, let us move forward in time and see how money changed more and more. After coins and paper money were invented, people began to travel long distances to trade. Merchants carried coins and paper notes on horses, camels, and ships. Imagine the feeling of sailing across the sea, with only a small bag of coins in your hand, hoping to trade them for silk, spices, or treasures from distant lands. Life was full of adventure, curiosity, and sometimes danger. In Europe around the 12th century, banking began to appear. People needed a safe place to keep their money. Carrying too many coins was risky. What if someone stole it or lost it in the journey? So, special people called bankers started to help. They would keep money safe and give a receipt. This receipt could be used instead of the coins themselves. Slowly, people realized that the idea of trust was growing stronger. You did not always need coins in your hand. The paper receipt itself had value. At the same time, merchants began to use letters of credit. These were documents that promised payment later. If a merchant traveled from Italy to England, He could leave a letter of credit in Italy and collect money in England. This idea made trade much easier and faster. The world was becoming connected, even before airplanes and trains existed. People were learning to think in new and clever ways, using money as a tool to make life better. Meanwhile, in the Middle East, people were also developing money systems. Markets in Baghdad, Cairo, and Damascus were full of traders and colorful goods. People used coins, silver, and gold just like in Europe. They also invented scales to measure coins and precious metals accurately. This was important because not all coins were equal. Trust and fairness were very important. People needed to know that the money they received was real and true. By the 17th century, modern banks began to appear in Europe. One famous example is the Bank of England, established in 1694. It started as a place for the government to borrow money. Slowly, it became a safe place for people to save money. Banks allowed people to deposit money, borrow money, and even invest money to grow their wealth. Money was no longer just coins or paper. It became a system of trust, credit, and ideas. During this time, something else interesting happened. Coins and notes became more beautiful and artistic. People put pictures of kings, queens, national symbols, and famous buildings on them. Money became not only useful but also a piece of art. People could feel proud holding it. Money was now a story of history, culture, and identity. In the 18th and 19th centuries, the Industrial Revolution changed the world. Machines, factories, and trade grew very fast. People needed more money to buy machines, build factories, and pay workers. Banks and money systems became even more important. Paper money was widely used. People also learned how to make bigger economies. Money allowed countries to grow stronger. Life was changing quickly. Cities became crowded, streets were busy, and markets were full of sounds, smells, and colors. Money was at the center of it all. But with growth came challenges. People had to learn how to manage money wisely. Some people became very rich while others stayed poor. Wars, inflation, and poor decisions could destroy money systems. People learned that money could be powerful, but it could also be dangerous if used carelessly. These lessons are still true today. Money is a tool, not just a goal. It can help life, but only if we understand it and use it responsibly. Then, in the 20th century, the world saw a big change. The creation of modern digital money systems. Telephones, computers, and banks connected people in ways never seen before. Instead of carrying heavy coins or paper, people could use checks, credit cards, and bank transfers. You could pay for things far away without touching a coin or note. Imagine sending money across continents in just a few seconds. This made life faster and easier, but also required more trust and care. At the same time, governments started creating national currencies. Each country had its own money, such as the US dollar, the British pound, or the Japanese yen. These currencies became symbols of national pride and economic strength. People could exchange them for goods, trade internationally, and measure the wealth of a nation. Money had become more than coins or paper. It was a symbol of progress, power, and connection. Even today, money continues to change. New technologies like digital banking, online payments, and cryptocurrencies are transforming how we use money. People no longer need physical coins or paper for many transactions. Instead, we can use phones, computers, and digital wallets. This shows that the story of money is always moving forward, just like people's creativity and imagination. Through all these changes, one idea has remained the same. Money is about trust and human cooperation. Whether it was shells, coins, paper notes, or digital currencies, money works because people agree to believe in it. This trust allows trade, travel, and growth. It allows farmers, merchants, and nations to connect. Without trust, money cannot exist. Another lesson from history is adaptation. Money has changed many times because human needs have changed. Long ago, coins solved a problem. Later, paper notes solved another problem. Then banks, checks, and digital systems solved even more problems. Life is always changing, and humans have always found ways to meet new challenges. We can learn from this. When life changes, we can think creatively, adapt, and find new solutions. And lastly, money teaches us responsibility. People who manage money wisely can build security, support their families, and help their communities. People who misuse money may face difficulties. History is full of examples of both. This is a reminder that every coin, note, or digital payment is not just money. It is also a choice. It is a reflection of our decisions, values, and trust in others. So, my dear friends, as you continue to hold or use money today, remember the long journey it has traveled. Imagine farmers, merchants, kings, bankers, and travelers, all dreaming of a better way to trade. Imagine markets, streets, and cities alive with life, all connected by coins and notes. Feel the warmth, curiosity, and wonder of this long history. Part 3. Approximate. 1,000 words. As we continue our journey through the history of money, my dear friends, we now enter the modern era. Life in the 20th and 21st centuries has changed faster than ever before, and money has changed with it. People no longer need to carry heavy coins or paper for many transactions. Instead, we use cards, online banking, and digital payments. Imagine paying for a meal in another country, just with your phone, or sending money to a friend across the world in a few seconds. Life feels fast, connected, and full of possibilities. But even with these new forms of money, the old lessons remain. Money is still about trust, cooperation, and responsibility. Banks, digital wallets, and online systems only work if people believe in them. If a bank fails or if digital systems are hacked, people lose trust and the system stops working. History shows us that trust is like a delicate thread. It may be invisible, but it holds societies together. Without it, money loses its meaning. In today's world, people often think of money as a measure of success. We use money to buy homes, cars, education, and even experiences. Money allows people to live comfortably, explore the world, and follow their dreams. But money is also a tool. It is a way to exchange value, to help others, and to create opportunities. The people who succeed are often those who understand this balance, using money wisely while respecting its power. One interesting development in recent years is cryptocurrency, such as Bitcoin. This is a type of digital money that does not exist as coins or paper. It is stored and traded online. Some people believe cryptocurrency is the future of money. It shows how human imagination continues to shape the ways we trade and store value. Just as shells, coins, paper, and banks solved problems in the past, digital currencies solve new problems for a connected world. They remind us that money is always changing, and humans are always thinking of new solutions. Another important lesson from the history of money is learning from mistakes. In the past, rulers and governments sometimes made too much money. This caused inflation, meaning money lost value. People could not buy as much as before. Wars, poor planning, and greed also caused economic problems. Today, we can study these examples to understand the importance of balance. Money is not just for spending. It is for planning, saving, and making life better for ourselves and others. Money also teaches us about fairness and equality. Long ago, some people became very rich while others remained poor. Today, this still happens in many parts of the world. History shows that societies work best when money is shared responsibly, when systems are fair, and when people have opportunities to improve their lives. Even small acts like helping someone in need or saving money for education can make a big difference. Money, when used wisely, can create trust, kindness, and hope. Let us also think about the stories behind money. Every coin and note has a story. Kings, queens, famous leaders, or national symbols appear on them. They remind us of history, culture, and human achievement. Digital money may not have pictures, but it carries a story too. The story of trust, technology, and innovation. When we hold or use money, we are part of this story. We are continuing a journey that began thousands of years ago. Markets today are very different from the markets of long ago, but the feeling is similar. Imagine walking in a modern market, surrounded by people from all over the world buying fruits, clothes, and technology. The sounds, colors, and smells are different, but the sense of trade and connection is the same as it was thousands of years ago. Money connects us. It allows people to share goods, services, and ideas across distances and cultures. Education about money is also important. The history of money teaches us that understanding how money works is just as important as earning it. Knowing how to save, spend, and invest wisely can make life smoother and less stressful. Just as people in the past learned to trust coins, paper, and banks, we can learn to trust digital systems and financial knowledge. Learning about money is like planting a tree. It grows slowly but provides shade and fruit for the future. Another lesson is innovation and creativity. Long ago, people created shells, coins, and paper notes. Later, banks, checks, and digital systems were invented. Today, we see new ideas like cryptocurrencies, mobile payments, and online banks. Money has always been a reflection of human creativity. Every challenge inspires a new solution. This teaches us that when we face problems in life, we can also be creative. We can find solutions that help not only ourselves but also others. Finally, money teaches us about responsibility and choices. Every time we earn or spend money, we make choices. Will we save for the future? Will we help someone in need? Will we invest in education or experiences? These choices shape our lives, our communities, and our world. Just as history shows, the way we use money reflects our values, priorities, and trust in ourselves and others. So, my dear friends, as we look at money today, coins, notes, cards, or digital wallets, let us remember its journey. Imagine farmers, traders, kings, and merchants who dreamed of a better way to exchange value. Imagine markets, streets, and cities full of life, connected by trust and cooperation. Feel the curiosity, wonder, and warmth that money carries through time. We can also reflect on ourselves. How do we use money? How do we make choices that affect our future and the lives of others? Money is more than just a tool. It is a mirror of human history, imagination, and wisdom. By understanding it, we can live more thoughtfully, plan more wisely, and connect more deeply with the world around us. Part 4. Approximate 1,000 words. As we reach the final part of our journey through the history of money, my dear friends, let us pause and reflect. Money in its many forms has traveled thousands of years to reach our hands today. From shells, cattle, and salt, to coins, paper, and now digital currencies, each step tells a story of human creativity, trust, and learning. Money is not just a tool. It is a symbol of human effort, imagination, and connection. Think about the first person who picked up a shiny shell and thought, "I can use this to trade." Imagine the first merchant who carried coins across mountains or seas, hoping to sell spices or silk. Picture the first banker who kept people's money safe and issued a paper receipt. Feel the courage, curiosity, and patience of all these people. Every coin and note in your hand today carries echoes of their lives, dreams, and choices. Money also teaches us that every challenge can lead to a solution. In the past, barter was difficult. People could not always trade what they wanted. But humans did not give up. They thought, experimented, and invented new forms of money. Coins, paper notes, banks, and digital systems were all solutions to problems. This is an important lesson for us today. Life may feel complicated, and we may face challenges we cannot immediately solve. But with patience, creativity, and cooperation, we can find new ways forward, just as people did long ago. Another lesson from history is the importance of trust and fairness. Money works only when people trust it. In ancient markets, people weighed coins carefully and looked for marks of authenticity. In modern times, banks and digital systems rely on security and honesty. Trust allows trade, growth, and connection. Fairness ensures that societies thrive and people feel valued. Every time we act honestly and responsibly, we are building the same foundation that allowed money to flourish throughout history. History also teaches us about responsibility. Money can bring comfort, opportunities, and happiness, but it can also bring problems if misused. People who earned or inherited money in the past sometimes wasted it, while others used it wisely to build communities, schools, and businesses. Today we have the same choices. Every decision about earning, saving, or spending money matters. Each choice reflects our values, priorities, and care for the future. We can also see that money is more than material wealth. It represents stories, culture, and human connection. Every note or coin has symbols that remind us of history, art, and achievement. Digital currencies carry the story of technology and trust. When we handle money with respect, we honor these stories. When we use it thoughtfully, we participate in the human journey that began thousands of years ago. Money is also a tool for learning and growth. By understanding its history, we understand human society. We learn about problem-solving, trade, culture, and innovation. We see how humans adapted to challenges and created systems that made life easier and safer. This understanding can inspire us in our own lives. It reminds us that learning is continuous. Just as people learn to use coins, paper, banks, and digital money, we can learn new skills, adapt to new challenges, and grow through experience. We can also reflect on the emotional side of money, from the excitement of finding the first coin to the relief of having savings for the future. Money is connected to feelings. It can bring security, curiosity, pride, and even wonder. It connects people across generations. When we see or use money, we can feel the weight of history in our hands. We can imagine the smiles of those who benefited from it and the hard work of those who made it possible. As you think about money in your life, remember that it is a story and a tool, not just a possession. It is part of a larger journey that began thousands of years ago and continues today. Every decision we make, every choice about earning, saving, or spending adds to that story. We are part of this ongoing history. We can contribute with responsibility, creativity, and care. Money also reminds us that learning never stops. Just as humans learn to adapt and improve their money systems over centuries, we can continue learning in life. Each challenge, each mistake, and each success is an opportunity to grow. Money teaches us patience, responsibility, trust, and creativity, qualities that are valuable not only for wealth but for life itself. So, my dear friends, as we end our journey through the history of money, let us feel gratitude and wonder. Let us remember the farmers, merchants, kings, bankers, and inventors who shaped the way we trade today. Let us think about the markets, cities, and innovations that connected people across the world. And let us carry forward the lessons of trust, responsibility, creativity, and learning. Even as money changes in the future, through digital currencies, new financial systems, or ideas we cannot yet imagine, the lessons from history will remain. We can use money wisely, respect its power, and continue learning from the past. We can connect with others, help communities, and build a better future. Money is more than a tool. It is a story of human courage, imagination, and cooperation. Finally, my dear friends, remember that every day is an opportunity to learn something new. Just as we learned about money today, we can learn from history, from people, and from life itself. Small steps, curiosity, and reflection can make a big difference. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep discovering. The story of money shows us that learning, creativity, and trust are timeless treasures that belong to all of us. And so, as you continue your journey in life, handle your money with care, respect its story, and remember the lessons it carries. Learn from it, use it wisely, and let it inspire you to grow in knowledge, creativity, and kindness. Every coin, note, or digital payment is a reminder that we are part of something bigger than ourselves. A long, beautiful story of human history, learning, and connection. Keep learning, my dear friends. Keep dreaming. Keep exploring. And remember, the past teaches us, the present guides us, and the future awaits the choices we make today.